I'm Storm Geo meteorologist Andrew Hagan, and this is your update on the winter storm that you could already see here on the infrared satellite imagery. And this update is as of 7 a.m. Friday. So we see the winter storm is well underway, and it's quickly moving off. And the snow in Washington, D.C. should begin between 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. today. But we already have lots of precipitation occurring, so let's look at our radar here to see the precipitation types that are currently occurring. Now, we have some severe thunderstorm warnings with this severe weather and this rain that is going to move through Florida today, and that's going to last through the day as this moves through the peninsula. But look, remember we were talking about all the ice that we expect in Charlotte, and that's already falling now, and the ice in Charlotte is going to last throughout the rest of the day, going to produce very significant impacts. And then in the blue, of course, we have the snow falling, and we have that other area of ice in southern Kentucky. So this snow is going to be moving quickly off. It's already snowing in Virginia now. And so that will be reaching D.C. by early afternoon, like I said. And now let's look at the ice forecast. So the ice up to about 3/8 of an inch of ice in some areas here of Kentucky, and the ice in this area near southern Kentucky, that is going to end by the late morning hours today. However, the freezing rain and ice for North Carolina, that is going to last through an entire day today and through the evening, and probably end by about midnight tonight. So very crippling impacts from more than 1/2 of an inch of ice, maybe 5/8 of an inch of ice, maybe even some isolated areas close to an inch of ice. Of course, anytime you have more than 1/4 of an inch of ice, that's going to produce very significant impacts, widespread power outages. Travel is going to be impossible because the roads are impossible to drive on when you have that much ice. And so there's going to be some very big impacts here. That's going to take at least a few days to recover from this. And so we're also going to see lots of tree limbs down as well. Now, let's talk about another impact, which is the wind impact. And so we're going to be having the strong winds by 1 a.m. Saturday. We're going to have winds of 40 to 50 miles an hour coming into the coast. That's going to produce strong winds within a couple dozen miles of the coast. That will cause power outages. It's also going to produce coastal flooding, 2 to 4 feet of storm surge coming into this area. You can see in the wind barbs, the surface low is around here at that time. 6 hours later, at 7 a.m. on Saturday is when the surface low makes some progress north, and we're going to be having winds of 45 to 50 miles an hour, pushing 2 to 4 feet of storm surge into the New Jersey and Delmarva coast. But by late Saturday, those winds will turn to northerly, this low will start to move out, and the tides will start to return to normal. But we're going to have significant coastal impacts here. Like I said, 2 to 4 feet of storm surge. That's going to cause some minor damage along the immediate coastline. It's not high enough to be life-threatening or anything like that, but it will probably cause about 1 to 2 feet of water on the coastal roads, and maybe even a little bit of structural damage along the immediate coast. And then later Saturday, that tidal surge threat moves up on towards southern New England, but it's not going to be quite as high there. Now let's talk about snowfall. So this was the National Weather Service's gridded total snowfall amounts in inches, and they were saying 24 to 30 inches in this area, and then 12 to 24 inches inside the yellow for the total. But let's look at what the models had to say. If we look at the American model is the model that is forecasting the most snow in the Washington D.C. area. It actually predicted about 28 to 29 inches of snow for Washington D.C., but in here we have 24 to 36 inches for the American model, and then 12 to 24 inches, and then 6 to 12 inches in the purple. And so you can see just how sharply that cutoff is for some of these areas. The reason that the cutoff is sharp here is because of the rain-snow line, which will be located around here. And a lot of areas will mainly get rain for southern Delmarva and southeastern Virginia, which is why the snow isn't very high, even though the precipitation will be very high for these areas. But then here, it's because the it's going to be mostly snow for New York City, although that's the northern edge of the storm track. So that's why north of New York City, we're only going to have a few inches of snow because the storm is going to be tracking towards the east-northeast. Now, if we look at the European model, it's really the same story. The European model only peaks at 24 to 28 inches of snow. It doesn't have some of those isolated totals up to 36 like the American model does, but it has about 20 inches of snow for Washington, D.C. Really, the average of the models is saying about 2 feet of snow for Washington, D.C., but the heaviest is going to be a little bit to the west of D.C. Northern Virginia looks like will be the heaviest area for snow. And again, the timing on this, the snow will begin for Washington, D.C. around 1 p.m. Friday, and it's going to last about 36 hours, ending by about 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. on Sunday. Now, for this whole mid-Atlantic area, the heaviest snow is going to be falling late Friday And Friday night all the way through much of Saturday, at least through Saturday afternoon, before it tapers off Saturday evening. And the time of the strongest winds here is going to be from very late on Friday night, really through most of the day Saturday. We're going to have very strong winds. And the combination of snow and wind is going to cause lots of power outages, very treacherous road conditions, and we've already had thousands and thousands of flight cancellations, and we're going to have flight cancellations definitely through Saturday, and probably there's going to be so many backlogs on Sunday, Monday. So they're just going to create lots of problems, and hopefully those snowplow crews will be able to plow some of those roads. And here's the storm geo forecast. We have over 24 inches in northern Virginia, just to the west of DC, and DC is just below that 24-inch contour. But to get a better look at what we're thinking for some of these cities, DC 20 to 26 inches, Baltimore 18 to 24. Atlantic City is very tricky because they're on that rain-snow line, so we might actually see slightly less for Atlantic City if it turns out to be more rain, although it most likely will be in this range. New York City, now Norfolk is mostly rain, so that's why only very little snow for them. Boston is on the northern edge of that snow. Well, our next update will be by late this afternoon. I'm Storm Geometeorologist Andrew Hagan. Thanks for watching.